BZ_00 and Mitch11Soul. Thank you all very much for this, and hopefully you enjoy this episode.
I'd also like to thank Big Butt 69 on Instagram for all those DMs.
Oh, that's what those are for.
Don't worry about that, Ben.
Okay, I'll ignore them next time. So just like before with Batman Begins, I cited what the comics, the influence actually were before we went into it.
Yeah.
So just like with Batman Begins, there was a lot of different comic research that went into this movie right beforehand, especially because we had a few new characters. So obviously one of them was Mr. J himself, the Joker, and that was probably the most anticipated part of this movie was the Joker himself, and I don't think
teed up with that card at the end.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. It's been teed up. Everyone knew he was going to be in the next one.
Right.
So what comics did they draw off of? Unsurprisingly, Alan Moore and Brian Boland's The Killing Joke was one of them.
Long Halloween, because
Long Halloween was one of them.
every single person it takes an influence from that.
Yes. So Chris Nolan said for Killing Joke specifically, he says, I definitely feel the influence of The Killing Joke, not so much in the specifics as in constructing some sense of purpose for an inherently purposeless character. That is to say, the Joker is an anarchist, he's dedicated to chaos, he should really have no purpose, but I think the underlying belief that Alan Moore got across very clearly is that on some level, the Joker wants to pull everybody down to his level and show that he's not an unusual monster and that everyone else can be debased and corrupted like he is.
Yeah.
No, I think that's conveyed in both stories.
Make you break your one rule.
Yes.
He's always trying. He's like the devil for Batman. He's tempting him to.
Yeah. So I thought that was definitely conveyed.
Yeah.
As you said, the Long Halloween. So David Goyer said, "quote For me, there are three major comic book influences within the Batman lore. There's Year One. There's the Neil Adams stuff." Which he's referring to the 1970s run that Neil Adams did with Dennis O'Neil, which included a story called The Joker's Five-Way Revenge that may have also been influential on the movie because it came up with the idea of how insane the Joker could be. And then lastly was The Long Halloween. And he says, by the time The Dark Knight comes out, it will become apparent that Long Halloween is the preeminent influence on both movies.
There's even like just throwaway lines like, I believe in Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
They throw that's in there, which is really effective, in the movie and in the comic.
Exactly. So they clearly read it. Nolan himself said that The Long Halloween has a great triangular relationship between Harvey Dent and Gordon and Batman, and that's something that we very much drew from, and I think it's pretty evident in the movie.
Right.
That's where that came from.
Right.
Heath Ledger himself did a ton of research into the Joker, specifically not just reading The Killing Joke.
He was in a fucking motel.
Yes.
Making himself go fucking crazy.
He said, he literally says, quote, I sat around in a hotel room in London for about a month, locked myself away, formed a little diary, and experimented with voices. It was important to try to find a somewhat iconic voice and laugh. I ended up landing more in the realm of a psychopath, someone with very little to no conscience towards his acts.
You ever heard the Tom Waits interview in the 70s?
Yeah, I've seen that.
You've seen that? It's pretty
possible.
Fucking close, man.
Yeah. So
he sounded like this.
I have a growing level of popularity throughout the intercontinental United States, Japan, and I travel extensively in Europe as well. I don't do half bad.
They tell me you have a new market now in Ireland. Is that true? Yeah.
I've performed in Dublin and done very well there as well.
You look like a leprechaun. You should do well there.
Well, I'm also big in Philadelphia.
Excuse me.
I feel like I'm at my grandmother's.